Hello YouTube or to anybody who's smart enough to watch this. You're here for my episode 7 review of Power Rangers Super Megaforce, the Silver Lining Part 1 of 2. And in the last video that I did, I asked you if you could adopt one Ranger's fighting style, which one would you choose? And the winning answer was Terrence Lightning, A for having the coolest name I have ever heard, and B for choosing the Titanium Ranger from Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. So congratulations on winning, and I look forward to the end of this episode for a new question. Now the plot of this episode, we're introduced to this spacecraft that lands on Earth and a mysterious figure gets out from the ship and we don't really see who he is. Tensu and Gosei are elated about this, but they don't inform the Rangers just yet. And then we cut to the Rangers and they're being informed of multiple attacks that are happening throughout the city. But every time they arrive there, the X-Borgs are all defeated and the Rangers don't have a clue what's going on. They hear mumblings that there's this silver guy that's saving everybody, but they don't know who he is. Until finally they're confronted with the new Silver Ranger. They don't understand where he's come from, how he's got his power, or what his purpose is there. All they know is that he's a skilled fighter and he can defeat this villain, and that's all they really care about. We revealed that it's a Ryan at the end of it, but we don't really know much more about him other than that. Now let's get on to the good points about this episode. It was weirdly enjoyable seeing the school again. As soon as I saw the setting, I thought it would be a bit dull, but then I thought actually we haven't seen this place in a while, and it actually felt quite refreshing that they're balancing out everything that they've got in this season. It's not like this has been a regular thing for Super Megaforce, so it's actually quite a nice change of pace. And even though the speech Troy gave felt really unnatural for his character, if the words he was saying was spoken by somebody who could actually act, that would have been a really nice speech. So I kind of guess that's a compliment to the show. I'm going to class this as a good point, but I thought it was shocking that we actually saw the X-Borgs shooting at civilians. It's very rare that you see this, that you see the humans actually being in physical peril, that the villains are actually full on directly attacking them in such a violent way. Of course you get stuff exploding near them, but at this point it looked like they were actually aiming and shooting at them. And we got a rare new type of camera angle where we saw Troy and the rest of the team through the screens within the command center. I don't get why they haven't used this much anyway, because the command center is not used that much as a set, so it would have been nice if in the future, or maybe they could have done this earlier, that they used this type of camera angle. And Prince Vecca actually had a really good plan, just attack the city from all different points, and considering that this was the emergence of the new 6th Ranger, I thought it was nice that it kind of felt reminiscent to the original Green with Evil. And before you all start fanboying and saying it's nothing like the original Green with Evil, what I mean is that Rita had the plan to attack from different angles for once. And Jake's humour actually went up a notch. I love the scene where they were in the juice bar and they were just talking and he's all like, yeah, I'll buy the next round, and then he was like, can I borrow some money for the next round? And I really like the entrance of the Silver Ranger, because I'll admit a little secret to you, the Trident is the single greatest weapon of all time. I defy you to find a weapon that I will actually think is better than a Trident. I know it's personal opinion, but holy crap, if somebody was to ever give me a Trident, that would just be it. My life would be complete. So he instantly gets mad props just for using that weapon. And the Lost Galaxy fight was easily the best fight I have seen so far in this series. I like how they didn't have to jump around between different legendary teams just for the sake of it. They used a team that is very good, very distinguished in the fighting styles and the weaponry, and then it just worked. Because it might have been a very big concern for Saban, considering that the majority of their audience probably don't actually know who Lost Galaxy is. I know there'll be quite a lot who will, but the kids that maybe are watching this as their first series have no idea who these are. So the fact that they had the balls to stick with it and use all American footage on this fight was just incredible. And now let's get on to the nitpicks. I feel like the cold opening was meant to have much more of an impact than it actually did. It didn't even really excite me. It was like, oh, the ship's crashed and there's somebody coming out of it. There was no tension. You didn't even really feel like he was a threat or a help at that point. He was just there. When they were scripting it, I feel like they must have said, look, we need people to continue to watch this episode. Just throw something in to fill that slot up. Just let them know that this guy's coming at some point. I don't care how boring it is, just do it. And I've said it once and I'll say it again. Troy's delivery of that speech was horrific. Is he getting paid? Is he like on some kind of strike for something and that's why he's so horrific of an actor? This is the problem when you get models instead of people who actually have the talent. And when the Silver Ranger emerged, his dialogue was far too forced. There was no ambiguity at all. It was literally, I have guessed his entire backstory straight away. I don't get why we need a part 2 where they're going to explain his backstory. We get it. His planet was attacked. He survived. What's the big mystery now? I feel like the problem since Saban have reclaimed the title of Power Rangers back is that they don't realise that their audience is actually quite intelligent. You don't always have to spoon feed them everything, and they do actually like a bit of mystery. And wait, so the monster's protective belt was also his weak spot? Kinda finding a contradiction there. And I'm going to take a quick minute or two to get my opinions of the Silver Ranger out. Now, I'm not going to critique the person, I'm not going to critique Orion because I don't really know who he is at this point, besides his obvious backstory that we're still going to get revealed to us. And I guess some of this opinion is based on Gokaiger, but basically I really like the design of the Silver Ranger. I like how it's not so eccentric from the rest of the team like we've seen in some previous series, but at the same time it is quite new and literally shiny. At first when I saw the design of the helmet, I thought it was more motorcycle gang than it was pirate, but the design of it, the aesthetics, and to be honest, when I just look at it, I'm like, that's a cool helmet. I've already ordered the figure art from when I watched Gokaiger, and it's gonna arrive soon. It's just I want to get it at a reasonable price, but that's how much I love this costume. Originally I was just gonna get red figure arts, but now I've brought a Gokai Silver, or Super Megaforce Silver, but I brought it as Gokai Silver. And I said it earlier, but the Trident is the greatest weapon of all time, and the fact that he's got one just makes me love this show even more. And then it turns into a gun, like the Trident wasn't great enough anyway. So Silver Ranger, you get a thumb up from me. And this episode as a whole got a thumb up. It was weird though, I didn't know how to take it. It felt weirdly paced. In previous reviews I've said that they felt like the episode should have been over a two-parter, but they were a one. This is a two-parter that I felt should have been a one. I feel like I probably can't give an opinion on this episode because it is a two-parter, so next week's review might be quite reflective on this episode as well. But my question for you is, what is the greatest weapon of all time? You can choose Trident, but I've already chosen that. Try and get something new that might actually make me think, that is second best to the Trident. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, why did you get this far? Please subscribe if you haven't already for new videos, and check out my review of the Gokaiger the Complete series. I did that last week when there wasn't an episode of Super Megaforce out. And as a brief announcement, every time there isn't a Super Megaforce episode, I will try to release a Power Rangers or Super Sentai video. And comment below with what you thought about this episode and also your anticipation for part 2. Please check out my links, Facebook, Instagram, and my main channel. And remember one thing, I was Marcus Townsend, you were you, and you should put the U into success. All the best.
Hey, it's Greg playing here with Marcus. What we gotta say? Put the U in success.